Learned today that we're going to see a production shutdown in some plants here in the U.S. because of the chip shortage. What's going to fix this? When can these plants get up and running?
Well, good morning, and thank you for having me on this morning. But as Craig just appropriately outlined, his statements were accurate. We're very proud that we've been managing this supply chain disruption very well over the last 4 to 6 months. But quite frankly, due to the disruptions we're seeing in Southeast Asia as well as in Europe, we had to announce overnight that we're going to be reducing production in the month of August between that 60 to 90,000 units. And again, we're evaluating the impact on September, but it appears to be 70 to 90,000. I will say, Anna, that this is far beyond just microchips, although microchips are the center of most of this activity. But we're seeing a wide range of supplier disruptions due largely to continued outbreak of COVID.
Robert, you've done a really good job managing your dealership network. You've been really flexible, really kind of coordinated. You've actually had a really good communication strategy with dealing with them, and this has been reported pretty widely. This isn't just me saying this. What are the dealers saying right now? How kind of under strain is the inventory program? How flexible is it in terms of being able to get vehicles from one place to another where potentially they could be sold, to manage that kind of inventory that you do have as nimbly as you can?
Well, thank you for that. We communicate extremely well with our dealer and retail partners. What's a little bit of frustration is that natural demand for the industry remains to be very high. If we're projecting demand without supply chain disruption is in excess of 17 million units on an annualized basis. But as we've been seeing over the last largely 60 days, the industry sales are coming down to around a 14.5 market as inventories are just purely depleted. So I'll give you a good example of that. Last month, we started the month with about 40,000 units in inventory, but yet we're able to sell 225,000 units. And that's because of our 15 plants here in North America, we're continuing to produce. And our dealers do an excellent job with serving the customer for throughput. But now with, as we just previously said, the supply chains in Southeast Asia and in Europe are so critical that we're just not able to continue that level of production for the months of August, and it will go into September.
So, Robert, I wonder what the long-term fix is. Obviously, we can make chips at home in the U.S. OK, that makes sense. But we're also having sort of partial closures from ports in China, for example. It feels like herd immunity for COVID's getting pushed out and pushed out. It may not be there at all. So this may become a full reality of life. How do you fix it to still run your business?
Well, that's a complex question right now. What we really need to do as an industry is we need to solve this pandemic and bring a safe work environment to our team members. I'm really proud of our 15 plants here in North America. We are up and producing. We're social distancing. We've returned to 100% mask wearing. We do have a very solid plan in North America, but yet we are dependent upon second and third tier suppliers that are coming out of Asia and Europe. And that is really the issue of this problem. So many moving parts, many challenges to solve. But as was pointed out a little earlier, I'm confident that we can get through this period of time. But it's going to be a situation where consumer demand is going to far exceed supply for the auto industry over the next 60, perhaps 90 days.
What does this mean for used vehicles and the residual values that they carry? How much longer do you think we're going to see these incredibly elevated prices? We're starting to see some evidence that used prices are coming down. Do you think, what is your expectation for kind of how steep that curve is? If at all, are we going to see kind of reduce prices going forward?
Well, it's simple supply and demand. As new cars are not able to meet the current supply level of the demand that's in the market, used cars, particularly 1 to 3 year used cars, have accelerated in price. Over the past week, maybe 10 days, we've seen a little bit of softening of used cars pricing, but I think that that's normal because as we move into late summer and into fall, natural demand tends to subside. So I do expect used car prices to remain elevated until we see some normalization of new car inventories.
Before we let you go, Robert, I'd like to just get your take on the new EV mandate from the Biden administration, pushing for 40% of car sales to be EVs by 2030. Can you meet that? I mean, you're looking at about 20% of your sales coming from battery EVs and fuel cells in 2030. What do you think of that 40%?
Well, we're all in. And when I will remind your listeners that globally, Toyota has sold more electrified vehicles than all other manufacturers combined. When you take a look at our hybrids, our plug-in hybrids, our fuel cells, and our battery electric vehicles. Hybrid is up to about 26% of our business, and we look to grow our electrified business up to nearly 70% at the end of this decade. But we are returning to the full BEV market, and we'll have 2 of those in the market.